we're back.
Yay.
And you have the question
Yes.
before you. How what you do in your position, how does that meet the goals and objectives, which you know so very well we have for the Social Justice Institute? Can you talk about that?
Sure. Well, I think the Social Justice Institute is an amazing center that I'm really pleased to see being led by Dr. Rhonda Williams. I think it's exciting to be able to work with her and you and all of the other members that's on the leadership team. And I mean, I really see the center's role on that committee as being part of a team that is helping to address issues of social justice, inequality, whether it's in health, whether it's in education, and other community-related issues, economic and community development. I see our office assisting the Social Justice Institute in either increasing the awareness of, programs and events that are hosted by the Social Justice Institute, identifying ways to engage the community, yes. Whether it's residents to organizations, churches, schools. I think I see the center as being another voice for the Social Justice Institute to engage others in their initiatives and providing whatever resources that are necessary.
Well, because I am a very, should I say, in great admiration for what you do and attend the gatherings where you bring people in to speak about issues that are related to what the Social Justice Institute is all about. Can you just talk about some of the people that you've brought in to speak to us?
Well, I think you're speaking of a couple of things. Our office hosts community meetings with residents and businesses in the surrounding community called Community Dialogues, and they're now held quarterly. And then I also host quarterly meetings with our campus peers who yes. are engaged in outreach on a quarterly basis. And I've identified people, whether it's from the Cleveland Foundation to the Cleveland Clinic to a lot of the other circle institutions, community development corporations, you name it. I think what I view these opportunities as sharing information yes. With each other and letting our campus and community know programs, events, services, resources that are available to them, not only from an awareness standpoint, but really to help people know how they can have access to services. A lot of times, many of us hear on a regular basis that people are unaware of services that are available to them, particularly free services, that can help improve their, quality of life or education. Our Center for Civic Engagement and Learning does yes. so yes. much tutoring and mentoring, yes. Primarily for free for so many kids that are in grades K through 12. Mm-hmm. And but not everyone is aware that the Center for Civic Engagement and Learning does that. And Janice Eatman-Williams, who many people know, is a primary coordinator of that. But it's sharing information, whether internally or to the community, helping people know these services are available that are provided through the university, but we also work with many community organizations to to make a difference as well. So,
well, the presentations that I've attended have really been so more than just interesting, and the part about it that makes it so important, I think, is that we have the opportunity to ask questions of the speakers. I mean, what they have to say is really very, it's good and it's sound and it's important. But then when we have the questions that we have, it shows how much really we want to know, and also to understand even more clearly how those things are and what they're doing are available for people. Right. And I think that kind of awareness is really so important. I really have enjoyed those conversations very, very much.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
I mean, the idea is that you walk away not only feeling more informed, but also how you can work together.
Yes.
Because 9 times out of 10, you know, we are not the first ones to create idea, you know, X. And if we have the opportunity to work with others who also are making a difference in health or education, why not leverage resources to have a greater impact?
Yes. I remember them all, but the one I particularly remember is the one about laws. And the person who was talking about children and being aware of what was happening regarding the protection of children by some of the things that were that they were doing, and it had to do with, I'm very interested in children, so it had to do with children on bikes.
Oh, that was Dr. Scott Frank, and
Yes.
he is with the Masters of Public Health program,
Yes.
and he was sharing a lot of their research studies that involved young people and the choices that they make, their choices and behaviors, whether it's safety laws with bicycle riding, but also smoking, you know, food, obesity. Yeah, that was a very interesting presentation. And that's another example, too, of how Dr. Frank and his team at MPH are deeply involved in the local community, especially in improving the quality of health for young people, primarily in education and schools, and working with the City of Cleveland's Public Health Department.
I want you to talk about when we all move out into the community, the opening. It is pretty close to the opening of the academic year, and do all kinds of interesting things. Yeah. Talk about that.
Well, there is a wonderful event that we are getting ready for called Case for Community Day, and that's going to happen in 3 weeks, Friday, September 16th, and we are looking for close to 500 faculty, staff, and students and local alumni to serve as volunteers for close to 70 service projects. And they will do all types of volunteer work, whether it's landscaping or repainting a home, to working in community gardens, working in schools. We'll host a sports clinic for about 300 local kids in the surrounding schools, to churches, community development groups, you name it, we have it. And it's a fun day. It really is a wonderful opportunity to allow the campus to come together in one day to serve alongside each other and make a difference in the community. This is our 9th year, believe it or not, for Case for Community Day. And we're looking forward to making a difference.
Oh, tell about some of the things, though. My own experiences have just been so great. But tell about some of the things that, you know, we're participating in.
Well, one is we will be repainting a home for a Cleveland resident in Councilman Conwell's ward. She's a senior and limited income and unable to repaint the home. So our men's basketball team will volunteer at that site. We will have a reading carnival that's hosted by the Center for Civic Engagement and Learning. They will read their favorite children's book to kindergartners and second graders. We will repaint some playgrounds and some classrooms, and we will landscape a lot of community gardens and do some weeding. We will also help with administrative tasks for some of the local churches with database entry, filing, things that they are unable to get around to. We will help out at the free clinic with their donor think-a-thon, where our volunteers will actually read a script to thank all of their volunteers or all of their donors who have, been generous to them throughout the year. I mean, it really ranges in terms of experiences. Little Italy, there's some art galleries that we will make jewelry for one of the owners. So it's awesome. Everybody ought to volunteer.
I volunteer, and I enjoy it very much. One of the most interesting ones was when you painted the mural at the bus. Talk about
with
that.
Hector Vega. Yeah. Hector is a local artist who really is awesome, and we painted a mural at the Cedar Rapid Station, and that was a wonderful opportunity for a little over 100 volunteers who did not necessarily have to be an artist. Hector, along with students at Brush High, created the outline of the mural, and then our volunteers almost did a paint by numbers kind of thing. Yes. And it's still there today. Mm-hmm. It's I think 3 years old now, and it's still beautiful.
Still holding up.
Right, it's beautiful. And it was actually voted one of Cleveland's best revitalized community locations. So,
well, I pass it every day.
I do too.
Every single day, and I just look at it, and it's still just as vibrant and beautiful.
Lovely, especially in the winter.
Yes, yes, it's just wonderful. Well, I think that would you like to add one of your own now, since I plucked out the one that's one of my favorites?
No, I think it's a pleasure to work for Case Western Reserve University and so many colleagues who are involved in making a positive difference in the community every day.
Uh-huh. Well, it's our pleasure, and it's really an honor to have you here today and to talk about those things, and I thank you very much.
Thank you.
You're a colleague and a cherished one.
No, thank you. Same to you.